3 Americans, 2 political parties, talking about one terminal diagnosis. This is political malpractice. Welcome back to Political Malpractice. It is me and Chris again. Who knows where other Chris went? I don't know. I'm kind of hoping he's at least breathing somewhere. I haven't heard from him since last week.
I like I was telling you earlier, I just saw him on Facebook, so I'm not sure. I'll reach out to him and say something.
I mean, it's crazy times. Someone could have kidnapped him, and then they're posting on his Facebook, pretending to be him, wondering who the hell is this crazy girl stalking this gay guy? I thought he was gay. She's supposed to be gay. Why does she? Who knows? But
oh my gosh,
he's okay and just busy out there. As usual, we have a couple things on our agenda, but we never, ever get past item frickin' 1. So let's start with 1 and let's see if we can go to the other topics that are on our little list of things to talk about.
Hey, the great thing is, guys, I don't think Sasha and I are going to totally agree this week. So there you go.
No, we will not. I just don't know how long it's going to be. How long we're going to make this argument drag out here. So
it just is what it is.
Everybody knows about Renee Good and her getting shot by the ICE agent. I don't even remember his name. Do you know his name? Because as far as I'm concerned, it's not even worth knowing.
I wouldn't go so far, but no, I don't.
Whatever.
I mean, to me, I think that just a little sneak peek into my headspace here. This isn't at the top of my concerns in the world.
There are a lot of things that are going on that I would like to talk about, and I hope we get to it because on a world scale, that's what I'm concerned about. Whether we are taking another step further into 1984 with this action, I am concerned about because I do believe that we are. But let me pop it up here and let's look at our little video.
Oh.
And it's actually a Fox News video that I found. So, see.
They can be reliable.
I don't have the sound playing because I don't want to hear them talking about it. So this is not the guy that does the shooting. You'll see the guy that shoots her here. Now he's at the front driver's side. You see him with his feet here. Whoops. There's a leg here. His butt is kind of silhouetting this other guy's butt. There's 1 foot, 2 feet, the corner of the car. He had shot her 2 times by the time both legs had cleared. And he's going forward chasing the car. She's already been shot 3 times in the face. Here's, what are we looking at? Her car is going to hit something. So here we go again. This is full speed. He was on that curve and her tires were curved away from him.
Which makes sense, Sasha. And I think that here's the thing. Her tires were curved away from her, but as we can clearly see, it's an icy street. And so in order to do what I think that she was attempting to do, which is actually charge the officers, she would have turned her tires that way if she knew how to drive on an icy street. And so to those of us who live in places where it does get freezing and stuff like that, that is how you would drive if you want to go the other way.
So, okay, so pause. one conversational point at a time. So, as somebody who has done law enforcement jobs such as this, right, in the snow, because I've been in Kansas, I've been in Missouri, I've dealt with snow. I also know from a tactical standpoint, if I, as the officer, believe that the person in a car is a threat, I'm not standing in front of the car. Whether it is dry and sunny or super icy, looking at the road, you can see, let me pop it up again. I'll get a still video here. Just get a little still shot.
Okay, let me add this to the scene.
Oh, you have to say I
There
can
we
share.
go.
Never
Yeah,
mind.
I know, it's silly.
So looking at it, right? This part of the road looks a little dry. This looks wet. Maybe the ice had melted. It looks pretty dry here. But clearly this is the divider. You see the little dash of white. So this is the side that they're all on. He's standing on that side. She's standing on that side. If I'm a cop and I believe that there is a real threat from the driver in the car, guess where I am not going to stand? In front of the 2-ton threat. I'm
Okay,
just not going to do it, especially when I know that if I put myself in jeopardy, my argument of self-defense is gone, even as a cop.
Well, okay, you know, and that's a fair point, Sasha. But here's the thing. You know, ultimately, and this is not some sort of deflection or anything like that. All it is that ultimately what we need to get down to is why was that woman there in the first place? This didn't have to happen.
So why do you think she was there?
She put herself in this situation. She was trying to protest. As someone who has done lots of protesting in my life, you know what I do if I'm going to protest? I call the cops. I call a city councilman maybe who might be agreeing with me. And I make sure that I cover all of my bases. And so that it's going to be safe for me to be there, that it's safe for the police to be there, you know, and everybody is kind of taken care of. She is a total Karen as far as I'm concerned. Now she's a left-leaning Karen. Of course, there's the right-leaning Karens, and I'm sure
Well,
you
I
and I both.
definitely don't see her calling a manager. A Karen
Well,
is saying, "Where's your supervisor?" screeching at the top of her lungs.
well,
This lady
we both know
taking
about the
all out
right.
of the way.
We both know about the right leaning Karens and stuff like that and probably agree on that. But no, she is an entitled person who felt that it was, you know, her responsibility to go interject herself into something that did not involve her. And that's what I'm saying as far as being a Karen, because that is that kind of mentality. It's like I'm entitled to do whatever the fuck I want to do.
So you don't think
And
people here should stand up for others that they
people
believe are suffering an injustice?
Oh, good
Something's on
God.
your
What happened to my camera? Okay. No, of course. And that's what that's what I was saying, Sasha. I have been a part of plenty protests.
calling it
Many.
it's a protest.
Oh, no, no, no. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about on the street shit. I've had, you know, the crazy, wonderful, oh, wait, the peace loving leftists willing to shove, you know, broken glass bottles at me. No, no, I mean I've been there, but here's the thing. I go there and I make sure that that everything is set up with the police. They know what I'm doing so that they don't have any chance of misreading the situation. And I'm totally in contact with them. The
So
biggest protest that I ever did had hundreds of people involved.
I'm gonna play this a little bit. I want to see if they're going to back up and show an earlier video, like the earlier 15 seconds. They don't.
I guess all I'm getting at, Sasha, is if she really wanted to stage a protest and do it responsibly, she would have contacted the police.
I'm looking to see, because she wasn't. There was a statement that I had read earlier in the week, and her mom said that she was doing something there, but there's no protest.
And
Her and her wife were there.
All I know is
in the
maybe
other
I
videos,
misunderstood. Maybe I misunderstood something. I just didn't take it that way.
in the other videos that are like 10 seconds before, you see a swarm of ICE agents that all of a sudden surround her car. She's not doing
That's why
shit,
that's kind of why I'm thinking that she was involved in something, because why would all those agents come out? I mean, you were
because they're
involved in the
bullies.
police. But
They're bullies.
I don't know. I mean, I guess the thing is I just don't see it the same way. And, I mean, I think
They
that
you
these
have
folks are
two.
trying to control a situation. And if you're interjecting yourself
What
in these,
situation? She was backing up to leave moments before she got swarmed by ICE agents. That tan colored SUV that was
Mhm.
kind of blocking, because they were half in the street and half not. They were blocking her. She turns her wheels so that she can back up and then be able to go around it, right? Her
Right.
wife is getting in the car. I don't see anybody protesting. Nobody's there getting in the ICE agents' faces. You've got the guy that shot her circling her car and recording her car. She
Yeah.
says, "I'm not mad at you, man. I'm not mad at you." And then she gets swarmed, turns her wheel to take off. Whatever it was scared the shit out of her, because she left her wife standing in the road. Her wife didn't
Right.
even have a minute to get in the car. That's
Yeah.
not, "I want to kill you." That's, "You just terrified the fuck out of me because I."
Yeah, but you've got to know. I mean, because you've been in law enforcement, the absolute worst thing that someone can do is try to run away.
I
It's like
can't
just
shoot
stand
them.
there and stand there and
I
deal
can't
with
shoot
it.
them.
Right, but I'm just saying. I
If
mean,
they
the
want
worst
to
thing
run in
that you.
a car, run. I
Well,
can't
no, but I'm
shoot you.
just saying she could have just, because here's the thing.
Yeah,
This is
and
what we're
you
going to
could
get
have
into.
just worn
We're going to
pants,
talk about
honey,
the 50
and he wouldn't have
gazillion.
done that to you. You could have
Going to
just
talk about
worn pants.
we're going to talk about the 50 gazillion things that the cop could have done, because that's the way these conversations always go. But what could have the citizen have done? Well, the citizen could have just put the fucking brake on her car and stopped and talked to the
And
officers,
gotten
but
beat,
she did not do that.
and gotten
She
beat,
did not.
gotten dragged out of her car and beat.
You don't know
But
that though.
how many,
And she was
how
white. What's the
many?
chance that that was going to happen?
She would have been the fifth or sixth person in the last 3 months who's a white woman to have been thrown to the ground and beaten by ICE.
Well,
She would not have been the
obviously, I
first.
do not agree with like crazy shit like that, but I'm just saying that probably the vast majority of the
You're
time, if you go ahead and just put your foot on that brake and take it off the accelerator and sit there and talk to the cop, you are keeping yourself far more safe than if you start acting erratic around a cop.
you
I
are
mean, plain
coming
and
from
simple.
you are coming from a place of extreme privilege in that view. You're a
Well,
white man.
the
You're a white man.
but
On
but
appearance, I can't look at you and say, "Oh, he's gay." You're a white man. That's what everybody.
no, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, you look like a white woman, but I'm not a white man. I'm a Jew. And that is a
Right.
huge difference. I'm not going to fit into a KKK protest, and neither are you.
You could walk in and nobody would know it. Nobody would be any the wiser.
I wouldn't be able to suspect it
I
of you.
I could not go into a KKK protest because I am a woman. If you are a
No,
legit
no, but I'm just
neo-Nazi, you're
saying,
not letting me into your protest.
no, I'm just saying that if you want to come at it from that point of view, then both of us have privilege.
But that's where your privilege. Do I look like a white woman? Absolutely. Do I look like a straight white woman? Absolutely. Right? I know that I have that privilege. Therefore, I know that it's my responsibility to speak up for those that don't have the light colored skin that I have. You are
Yeah.
one above me on that totem pole. The Supreme Court has never had to rule based on how you look, not on anything else. The Supreme Court has never had to rule. You know what, guys? Chris and other white men like him absolutely should be given the right to vote. They
Yeah,
absolutely should be given that right.
but the thing is, I'm not a white man. I'm just not a white
But
man.
you
I may
fit it.
look like it. I
You
may
fit
look
it,
like it.
Chris.
I know. I totally get that. And that's what I'm saying to you. You fit it too. We both, if you want to say that that is some huge privilege,
But
and
I'm not the one
honestly, I do.
saying,
I know. I
I'm not the one
understand.
saying you just should have listened to the people that you know have beat up people that look like you. You
Well,
are.
it sure as hell would have been the safer thing to do. I mean, seriously,
How?
Sasha, if you were in
How?
that situation, would you have really done what she did? Because if you would
Knowing that
have,
you're putting guns in
that's
people's faces, absolutely, it probably would have scared the shit out of me.
but
She
that's
will not
just
be the first citizen that has had a gun put into her face, and she's definitely not going to be the last.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's a matter of perspective. Like I said, I do have a lot of police officers in my family. You have a background in law enforcement. We obviously see this differently. And I mean, really, when it comes down to it, I want you to know I see your point of view. I don't like government overreach. Obviously, I don't. I'm not a fan of
And
it.
this is horrible
But
overreach.
but I just don't. But see, that's where we disagree. I just don't.
They had her license plate. You want to arrest her? You got her license plate. You know what she looks like. You know what her
Hey,
wife
now
looks like.
that
You
I'll tell you
could have
what.
gone back and gotten her. You
I'll
did
tell you
not.
what. I'll tell you what. That's a fair point. But still, at the same time, as so many of these situations go, because the thing is, the video is slowed down. There's plenty of time to make a logical decision. When it happens in the matter of 2 or 3 seconds,
When it
you
happens
know,
in a matter of 2 or 3 seconds, you don't stand in front of the car. That is
well,
tactics number one. And it's not like he's one of these new recruits that was lured by some $50,000 bonus. He had
well,
a long tenure on a police department.
and you also
No
make sure to
tactics.
put the brakes on your car, though, Sasha. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
When somebody puts a gun in your face, your thought is not, let me put my car in park and turn off the engine so that they have an
I'll
easier
tell
time
you what.
shooting me.
If they are a cop, that is going to be my first response. I'm not going anywhere because I know
has
if I
zero
run,
purpose.
I'm going to get. I know that if I run, I might actually get shot.
If they're a legitimate police force, no, because a legitimate cop knows that unless you are a fleeing felon and they have an articulable reason to say, I believe that if I don't stop this person in their tracks, they are going to definitely go kill some bystander that's down the road. There were no bystanders that she could have hit. There was no felony that she did.
Well, I'll just put it this way. I think she's an idiot. I mean, that's really it. I mean, that's what it boils down to.
I really hope someone finds this guy because now he's in hiding.
Well,
if
of
you
course
didn't do anything, why are you hiding?
Well, because the mob mentality does not
The
think
president said that
logically.
you're absolutely right. Without seeing the video, the president said that you were in the ICU and you had every right to have shot her without seeing the video.
I don't give a damn what the president has to say. I'm just talking about what
You're not in trouble, homie.
No, but I'm just talking about
Your
what
big boss said it was fine.
Yeah, but the thing is, here's the thing, Sasha. Have you ever had death threats posted to your front door?
I got my first threat on TikTok the other day.
Okay, well, I've had it twice. I've had plenty of them given to me online. Those I just generally ignore. But the ones where these stupid motherfuckers, and in this case, they're crazy leftists, know exactly where I live and they're trying to threaten my home. I mean, of course, this cop isn't hiding because when people, whether they're on the right or the left, get all excited, guess what they do? They circle the wagons and they act like absolute fucking animals. And here we go watching what the people.
She wouldn't be the first person, the first white woman to have been manhandled by ICE. I think this was the first video I remember seeing. I was looking for another one because there was another reporter who was thrown to the ground and manhandled by ICE.
But my main point, is, Sasha, about what I was talking about, though, is of course that guy isn't hiding. It has nothing to do with his guilt or innocence.
He did nothing wrong.
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything wrong. And that's the thing that I love from the left. They love to say this. I have heard it from the right, but not quite as much. Oh, you've done nothing wrong, so therefore just go ahead and put yourself right out there. Do you know how fucking crazy people are?
I absolutely know how crazy people are.
You're not going to put yourself out there.
I know how crazy people are. Right? But Why is he hiding?
Because people are fucking crazy. Of course
He's a
he's
big boy with
hiding.
a
I
gun.
would be too.
He's a big boy with a gun. He was at work the next day, so he mustn't have been too afraid.
Well,
He
I'll
was
tell
at
you
work the
what.
very next day.
I'll tell you what, Sasha. I mean, it's fair enough. I understand where you're going with this. Again, I do not like government overreach, but I do not see this as a case of government overreach. All I can say is when the death threats get super personal to you, regardless, and it's calling you out by name, it's calling your husband's name, everything like that. When it gets to that point, then you'll understand why it doesn't matter what your guilt or innocence is. It has no, doesn't pertain to the matter at all. You are going to hide from the public. You're just going to do that.
I still think he's chicken shit. You think that she deserved to be shot? I think he's chicken shit for hiding. You did nothing. Go back to work. Stop crying.
Yeah, but
You had no problem shooting people. So if someone wants to come and fight with you at work, now you have a justified reason probably to shoot them. Go back to work.
If somebody who was like, say, a huge homophobe, and I do like to use Westboro Baptist Church as an example because they're close to me locally. So if they were to do their normal stupid stuff, even though I totally don't agree with what they're doing, if they did something so stupid, you still wouldn't understand why they'd hide. I mean, I totally get that.
Westboro Baptist Church are not cops. They're not.
No, I know, but
continuously carry weapons. This is a consequence of your action. It's a consequence of your action. It's a consequence of your job.
Well, the dumbass that got shot, she found out her consequence. So there you go. I mean, I guess that's where
Except
we're at.
she was just a U.S. citizen.
U.S.
citizens have a constitutional right to protest.
Well, I mean, I think she was a U.S. citizen, but I don't think that that's all she was doing.
She has a constitutional right to protest.
Absolutely. And I told you that there is a safe way to do that. That's what I'm saying, Sasha.
But that's where the danger comes. You just took a step back.
Well,
the authoritarian government pushed, and you took a step back. No, there's a safe way to do that. There's a right way to do that. If you
I'm not saying right.
He won't rape you. You took a step back.
Well, let's not confuse topics because they really aren't.
It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing.
Well,
it's the
we'll have to
gaslighting the people they want to control.
Okay. At the same time, I don't think that we are in a situation right now because here's the thing, Sasha, and this is where we're going. I agree. I think that there is a possibility that we're going to be in a situation at some point in time in our country and within our lifetimes where we are going to absolutely have to resist authority. I totally agree with that. I just don't think that's the time right now. I just don't think we're there.
So when?
I don't know. I think you know what? You know what? It's like porn. You'll know it when you see it.
But when is the time?
Again, it's like porn. You'll know when you see it. Some of us.
Let's say something magically happens. All of a sudden, anyone who's gay is arrested and put in jail. Is that the time?
Well, that would certainly be a time for me.
So when it affects you personally.
Oh, no, Sasha, don't give me like crap right there. Because that's not what I'm talking about. So because if people also said that we needed to arrest all black people, my ass would be out on the street rioting. Okay. So no, let's not make that about like,
and then if you got shot, you would deserve it, right?
Depending on what I did. Depending on what I did.
If they said,
I mean, if I was, I'm sorry, I was just going to say, if I'm acting like a fucking idiot and absolutely, presenting myself as a threat, Yeah, I probably would deserve it. But if we got to that point where people are actually being killed systematically by the police, because I don't think that this is a systematic sort of thing going on here, if people are being systematically killed by the police, then by all means, we should all be out on the streets resisting that. But until it gets to that point, and I can make life safer for myself and the people protesting with me. Because remember, I headed up these large protests and I was responsible for everybody who came to these protests,
So
including on the other side.
so we
So I
wait
have to do
until
it the smart way.
they're marching down the street, systematically shooting a certain group of people in the head.
Well, I don't
That's
know
when
that
we
we're
revolt.
necessarily. Don't you think there is a chance that Well, don't you think there's a chance that there's going to be a time in between now and that where we're going to kind of get the idea that that's about what's going to
I
happen?
think he's
I mean,
tried.
I don't think that a necessary I
I think
don't
he's
think that
tried.
a necessary I don't think that a necessarily equals b in that situation.
He's he
I'll tell you
hold on.
what. I mean,
He
oh,
has
go right
tried
ahead.
sending the National Guard into cities was his attempt. Weak and ineffective as it was his attempt to have
Mhm.
soldiers marching down the street systematically grabbing people. It failed. Why? Because everybody pushed back. Now he is backed up and they are little by little starting to go through. Prancer over there just said, we're going to have ICE going door to door. Is that the time to revolt when the cops are going door to door asking for papers?
Well, I'm not going to get caught up in the trap of when is the appropriate time. That's why I'm still going to say
But that's where the
when it's,
danger is, Chris.
but that's why I'm going to say when it's porn, it's like porn. When you see it, you know it, and the thing is, I guess the thing is, Sasha, my honest disagreement with you, and I love you to pieces. I mean, the whole thing is, I don't think that we're at that point yet. Is Trump a danger? Of course. You and I both agree on that because he's gone like way off the rails, even for me, you know? So, I mean, but I think what happened in Minneapolis was just not that. I just don't
It,
think it was.
let's say a month from now, we find some secret diary of hers where she admits, I wanted to run over an ICE agent. Let's play that what if game, right? And you were right. She was trying to hit him, right? Maybe we discover down the line that it was justified. The problem, what this agent did, yes, is a problem. He is a micro problem. The macro problem was Trump's response. And that's why I say the time to fight was 6 months ago.
Hmm. Well,
Because
I
it's
mean,
always Trump's responses.
you bring up a good point, Sasha. I mean, you really do, in that, we could head this off, so to speak. And I think that that's kind of what you're getting at. At least that's how I'm reading it. And I get that. I understand your point of view. I'm ugh, I'm not sure that that's a good way to run a society because there's lots of people that think that they need to head off a lot of shit and they're going to go, and they're people that you and I would both equally agree with, and we're not going to want them going out there doing a bunch of crazy shit either.
It,
Um
this is one of those
so
is where people are again protesting and demonstrating, right? But the Trump regime is the Hydra. And if anybody knows anything about Greek mythology, if you remove one section of the Hydra, it's just going to grow back. So you need to get the whole thing all at once. The whole regime is rotten and it's got to go.
well, I mean, I guess I agree with you to the degree that I don't think that it's specifically the Trump administration. I'm not going to call it regime because I don't think that we're quite at that point yet, but maybe one of these days we will be. and but I don't know. I mean, I just think that it hasn't quite, I don't know. God, man, you're giving me a lot to think about here. But I just don't think that it has gotten quite to that point, and I don't want people taking a bunch of stuff into their own hands. I guess
I'm
that's
not
where
saying
I'm
take it
coming
into your
at.
own hands, right? Because I honestly believe that Trump is purposely trying to rile everybody so that he has a reason to pull the Insurrection Act. Absolutely, he's trying to do that. So protests need to be kept peaceful. I don't think that Ms. Good was trying to hurt this guy. I think she freaked the fuck out because she got swarmed by ICE officers. Her freak out is evidenced by the fact that she just took off. She left her
Mm.
wife there. Whatever they did scared her so badly that she left her wife in the street because she panicked.
Well,
Yeah,
can we both agree that it was definitely a tragedy? I mean, it's terrible
absolutely.
that it happened. It's terrible that
Absolutely.
it happened.
Absolutely. And I hope
I
that when they
mean,
catch the ICE officer, they televise his trial. Every single minute of it.
yeah. I mean, because even from my standpoint, from what I've said, I mean, she still probably believed that she was doing the right thing, even as misguided as I may have thought it was, as far as for her own safety. That's what I'm talking about.
It
You know,
nobody deserves to be killed for a panic,
yeah.
and at the end of the day, that's what it is. Now, moving on, we're
Yeah.
actually
Okay.
going
All
to get to
right.
topic number two.
We can
I'm
get to
so
something else.
excited.
It's so funny, Sasha, because I even lost myself in the train of thought there. I was like, oh my God, so many thoughts right now. Because here's the thing, guys, I really do not trust the government. And I don't really implicitly trust Donald Trump either. Mine's just more of like, are we overreacting, underreacting? We'll figure that out. And maybe we'll figure that out on this podcast. Back to Sasha.
Not that anybody important enough listens to us to actually be like, hey, they're right. These
Right?
gays are right.
I know. Gotta
So,
trust the homos. We know what we're talking
number
about.
two, right after Trump snagged Maduro, he started talking about wanting Greenland.
Oh God.
Again. Now, I stumbled across an article by the Daily Mail. I don't like their website, right? Because it's got all those advertisements. Anytime I see anything with ads, I'm like, are you like, the technology version of the Bat Boy? What's going on with these articles? What is this about? So I did some digging into the Daily Mail, and they don't get the strongest factual rating because they sensationalize, right?
Right, they do. They
They
do.
do lean very right. So the fact that they were the ones that kind of broke this news had me a little shocked because I don't know where
Yeah,
they're
'cause
going with
they,
it.
they 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 break a lot of interesting
Well,
stuff that it
it's
takes a
this,
while to get to the mainstream media.
it's
Yeah.
this that I was shocked about that they broke because this paints Trump in a bad light. Donald Trump orders army chiefs to draw up plan to invade Greenland, but they're not doing it. And they go on to report that whatever source they have inside is saying that the military is pushing back and they're refusing, and that Trump's aides are trying to distract him with the topic you wanted to talk about, the Iran protests. Hey,
Yeah.
no, we
Well,
can't go after Greenland, let's talk about Iran.
let me I made a social media post and I'm looking that up very
Okay.
quickly. And okay, I found it. I'm going to read it because this gives a really good summary of how I see things. And just to make it clear, I'm not necessarily against modern day colonialism, but it depends on how it's done. And you'll understand that here in a
Okay,
second.
go.
So, I said the Greenland situation is becoming very concerning. It's it's clear that some in the US government are looking to expand the American empire. I don't necessarily have a problem with that, but it's all about how you do it. Buying Greenland is one thing. Even using uncomfortable financial force to get what is beneficial for the US is also acceptable. But using military force to get it from an ally is completely unacceptable.
Great. So we agree again.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm not necessarily against, countries expanding themselves. I mean, it's happened throughout human history, you know.
here's my
And
real concern. This is where I get scared, and this is why I push back so hard when I ask you, when is the time to fight back then? When is it appropriate, right? So Trump wants to go to Venezuela. Everybody says, whatever, fuck Congress, let's go. And they go.
yeah,
They
well,
grab
that wasn't me though. That wasn't me. I
I know.
didn't
I'm
say that
talking about the people.
shit.
The powers that be up there, right?
Right.
Trump wants to go get Maduro, they go get Maduro. Trump unleashes ICE. Kristi Noem is out here probably wishing there was more stray dogs in the country,
Oh, of
and
course.
they're running
Target
rampant,
practice.
right?
Yeah.
They're running rampant. Nobody is stopping them. I am afraid of, the rotten part of the regime, they got to go. Hopefully they'll be taken care of in the midterms, right? It's the quieter people in the background that terrify me. Okay. Trump tells JSOC, figure out a plan to attack Greenland. That's apparently a step too far too soon for them, because now JSOC commanders are going, whoa, hold on. Hold on. They are using Trump, and he's a perfect pawn because that's all he is. He's an idiot who allows himself to be flattered and thinks that everybody's his friend. He allowed himself to be flattered, got into this position as president, is listening to all of these people that are using him as a toy, and he is slowly inching that line further and further back. He did it in his first term. A whole bunch of people got pissed, but they were all saying, just let's see. We have separation of powers in this country. We have checks and balances. Let's see. Now he came back harder, faster, more idiotic, and more unconstitutional. Right. Now JSOC is kind of going, wait a minute, stop. And you're seeing the same thing in the Supreme Court. They gave him all kinds of leash, and then went, ooh, okay, bad dog, and pulled back just a little bit. And then they'll give him a little more and pull back on that leash again, because they want to see what it's going to take for us, the people, to flip out and really show them how the French Revolution should have been done. Those are the people that scare me.
But yeah, I can see that. Let me see, where to start on that. Well, I think that one thing that the left does at its own peril, so this is just going to be some free advice, is a lot of you guys think Trump's an idiot. I don't think he is. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. I think he's a narcissist. So that's why you see that stuff. Like, he really likes his ego being stroked. And it's almost pathetic how he looks for, adulation and everything. But it's not like he doesn't want. Here's the thing. This is why I say he's a narcissist. He's not your normal idiot looking for, confirmation from people about what he's doing. He doesn't give a fuck about your approval. That's not what he cares about. He likes to get his ass kissed for things that he thinks that he's done well. So don't do your side a disservice by underestimating him, I think is what I'm saying there. Because I think that there's too many people on the left, because honestly, if a real rebellion against something, if something goes really wrong, it's probably going to come from your side. And if you got a bunch of people thinking that he's an idiot, then they're not going to take him seriously. So I would suggest to the left, stop treating him like he's an idiot, because he's not an idiot. Now, the other thing is from the right side, not being correct, but from the right. From my standpoint, he's doing a whole lot of overreach. I think that there are people like me who have made it very clear that I do not appreciate his overreach and the things that we're talking about: Greenland, Venezuela, Iran, you name it. Everything that he promised us he wasn't going to get us into now, but he's doing, because that's what I voted for. I'm a peacenik. I'm a total peacenik. I want fucking peace. That's what I want. Get the United States out of this shit, you know? And anyway, so there will probably be some people on the right like me, who will be the first at the guillotine. But
I
because
won't let him chop off your head.
all right.
I think you can be safe.
All right. Because we're seen as like the first traitors, so to speak. And this has happened to me, over the past few weeks when Trump has really started doing some stuff that I just think is bad for America, and I started speaking out on it. I mean, I lost hundreds of people who were followers on X, had people come out against me and stuff like that. And it's like a real conservative, a true conservative would have a problem with what Trump is doing. And I'd like to know where the real conservatives are.
So let me clarify real quick. When me and probably a lot of people on the left, when we call him an idiot, we're not calling him necessarily dumb, right? At this point, he's demented beyond all figuring out. Like, he is a demented evil bastard at this point, right? I use the term idiot to kind of denote that whole picture. You are evil. You are the worst thing that could have ever happened to this country. You blubber around doing some weird stick up your ass dance on stage that your own wife tells you to stop. You embarrass your own wife when you do this. You just bumble. And that's what we mean by idiot. You are literally the court jester. You think you're the king, you're the jester, and that's what makes him the idiot.
He doesn't read the room, is what you're kind of saying, I'm guessing.
All of it. Because it's more than just not reading the room. When he was sitting with those oil barons talking about what to do with Venezuela, he randomly got up and started looking out the window. What are you doing, psycho? Yeah. Like, that's what makes him the idiot. It's not that I don't think he is lacking moments of lucidity where he can actually put together a thought, right? I think there are those moments. He does not show them a lot.
Well, we'll definitely agree that most old people should be out of power anyway.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's the court jester. At least when I call him an idiot, that's what I'm saying. You have no business here. Go play on your golf courts. As far as
that makes sense, Sasha. It really does. I guess I kind of get where you're coming from, because when I hear it, I'm like, yeah, I think you guys are underestimating him a little bit.
We're not underestimating him. I don't think that he really has enough lucid moments to put together a plan, right? We know that the threat is Stephen Miller. The threat is J.D. Vance. The threat is Mike Johnson, Christine Nome, Tulsi Gabbard, whatever. Gabbard. There we go. Tulsi Gabbard. Those
I do like
are the
Tulsi. I do like Tulsi.
I don't. I want to put in more highlights, and I want to get like the super light in the front. I had told my hairdresser, like, under total threat, if I walk away looking like Tulsi Gabbard, we're gonna have a problem. She wants to be Cruella and fails utterly. Cruella.
Sorry, give me a second. I just started. Okay, you're killing me. You're killing
It's not that funny. It's a legit hero.
I like Tulsi. I like Tulsi. Well, that's fine. We don't have to like the same people. I'm sorry. That was funny.
It's a legitimate hero.
Laugh. No, I can still laugh and still like these people. It's funny. Oh my God.
But
I can only imagine how many people have probably laughed at me. Like,
so now,
yeah, he's a nice guy, but he's fucking crazy.
Now, one of the things you had wanted to talk about were the ICE protests and possible interventions. I saw you typing that onto the Google Docs because I was trying to get myself situated here. And I was like,
Iran.
Yeah, Iran. Sorry. And I was like, oh, I don't know anything about this. Fingers were typing like mad, trying to figure out what's going on. The only thing that I could find was what I had told you, was that apparently whatever class in Iran had supported the regime there, they now revolted because the cost of food went up. Like, stores were pulling things off the shelves because stuff was getting too expensive. They were locking people out of stores. That started a protest. I did see like 2,000 people were injured. I think it said, 8 children or 5 children have been killed because of these protests. And at the risk of sounding really freaking callous, what does that have to do with us?
I get it. I get it. And that's why I made the comment. And I was like, Chris is a total bastard.
Oh my God, I actually really agree with you on this. Like, when your house is clean and in order, then you go help other people clean their house.
You got it.
But our house is nowhere near clean.
No. And the funny thing is we might even disagree on exactly what the issues are that need to be cleaned up, but we both recognize that the house needs to be fucking clean.
Exactly.
And it's like the thing with the Christians in Nigeria. The situation in Venezuela, we're supposedly liberating the Venezuelans and all this type of stuff. It's like, being welcomed as liberators in Iraq, and of course the people in Korea and Vietnam were going to love us too, because they'd see how terrible communism was and just want to kiss that American ass. It's all of that shit. And, I see exactly what he's doing. And his supporters are doing this too, at least some of them. The ones who, aren't, complete sycophants and ass kissers will be, honest enough to come out and say what I'm saying, which is that I'm sorry, you don't go in and okay, here, let me put it this way. It's obvious what's going on. Guess what all of this is supposedly about?
It's a distraction.
Oh, no. It's all about humanitarianism. The United States is liberating Venezuela. The United States is going to liberate Nigeria.
And
the United States is going to liberate...
Hold on, I can't.
Sorry. I was going to say the United States is going to liberate Iran. It's the fucking same shit repeated over and over again.
Here's the disgusting hypocrisy, right? I had posted something about the Venezuela thing on my TikTok, and all the MAGAs come running to my TikTok screaming about how we liberated Venezuela. Bitch, no, you fucking did not. We had Venezuelans who were here in the US under asylum, going through the process to be able to stay here. Trump revoked their asylum. He revoked their asylum, started kicking them back home to Venezuela and kicking them wherever the hell would take them because he didn't want them here. Now that he goes and gets Maduro and Trump says it's to liberate them, now you're all pro liberation of Venezuela and protecting Venezuelans? No.
That's exactly what I'm getting at. That's exactly what I'm getting at, Sasha. I did a poor job of explaining it before. Let me
No, you did a great job. And I was
going to say it's the same fucking pretext that we always use to go into these wars, which is we're doing some humanitarian thing. And the American public every fucking time falls for it again and again. And here's MAGA, the ones who were sitting there talking about like, oh, we don't want to be involved in all this shit. And now suddenly, because their Lord and Savior, Donald Trump, decided that, this was the thing that, we needed to be doing. Now suddenly invading all these countries and taking over Greenland and everything. Hey, that's all fine. All it is a big right-wing MAGA circle jerk.
Yeah.
And it's just stupid. Now, in all fairness, I do have to say, guys, this shit happens on the left. So before y'all get...
Both sides do it. Yeah. Both sides do it. I have no problem if country A has a dictator leader who's just being a royal piece of shit, and those people, the people of the country, look to us and say, help us, please. Just help. Yeah. Help. Yes, go help. But I find it funny how we only ever liberate those countries that have some kind of mineral. They have oil. They're a good place to take and to stay and keep our military there because it's a strategic place to be. Hello, South Korea.
Right. Isn't it funny how this works out? It's so funny how it works out.
Help. Yeah,
it's always interesting how there's something in it for the United States. It doesn't seem to be that humanitarian.
If you're going to help, if it's humanitarian, it's just because you want to help and they want your help. It's the same MAGAs who are all over that TikTok post, it's talking about liberation and we're helping Venezuelans, blah, 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 that had an issue with USAID funds. I thought you were about humanitarianism and helping. I thought that's what you were all about now.
Yeah, see, and I never was. How about that?
At least you're honest.
I know. You just can't trust conservatives, especially if they call themselves libertarian.
Right? See how shady they are, man? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out. That way, if you get cut off again, it doesn't cut off our recording. I did want to end it because this kind of goes back to what we started talking about with that poem by Martin Niemöller. I think that's how you say it. Have you heard that poem?
First, no, I haven't.
Yeah, first they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was
no, I've heard that poem. Okay, as soon as you say it, now I know it. Yeah.
Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. People really need to start thinking about, when are we going to just stop? When are we going to draw the line together as Americans, and we could figure out this right, left, libertarian, what the fuck ever class? We can figure that out later, because that categorizing us and demonizing every other category is just another means to divide us. We are going to get run the fuck over if we're not careful.
That is something that I absolutely agree with the left on, and they do a better job, I think, of that. At least that idea of, we need to join together. Now, here's the problem with both sides. You know, they kind of don't want to talk to each other. They don't want
Mhm.
to face the hard stuff. Where we might have some differences. I was just dealing with a friend, and she was talking about how two gay men that she knows had felt that she had become too conservative for them, and so they no longer wanted to be friends. So here's the thing: I know this person that they don't want to be friends with anymore, and I really don't find anything all that particularly objectionable about her as a gay person. In fact, I find nothing objectionable about her. And, I wish people would stop doing that sort of thing, because the thing is we are helping to divide ourselves when we do that stuff and stop talking. So when you're that MAGA patriot, guys, and you hear someone from the left talking about something that you disagree with, don't call them some sort of fucking anti-American communist, because chances are they're very patriotic Americans. They just want a better country, and they happen to disagree with the way that you're going about it. And to the left, it's almost kind of the same thing. I understand on the left, because I've been a part of it, you think that everybody who's conservative is looking to oppress you or some other group in some sort of way. Trust me, after having spent plenty of time on the right, that's not what they're looking to do either. We have a lot more in common than we allow ourselves to believe, and a lot of it has to do with our media and our shitty politicians.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't dislike or distrust all conservatives. You and I are friends. As
Yeah,
long as you're not as
absolutely.
long as you're not trying to control my personal wallet, then we could sit here and discuss all day long what we're gonna do with taxes, right?
Right.
Not all liberals are wanting absolute chaotic communism. Maybe 2% of them do, you know?
Right.
Um, and when I say MAGA, I'm talking, about the ones who have made it their personality.
Yeah.
I saw on the 405 this week, a guy had this beautiful, beautiful truck. His license plate said 4745. You're telling me it's not a cult? In California, it's an additional $90 a year on your registration to have a personalized plate. Bro, you're paying $90 so that everybody on the freeway can absolutely know that your giant truck is a representation of what you are lacking in your pants. Because I wouldn't have thought that with just the truck. I would have been like, cool truck, bro. But you
Right.
throw that license plate on there. Now I know you got a mushroom. Woohoo. I
Yeah.
know.
Well,
I know.
people look so hard to fit into things, and maybe they should spend a lot less time worrying about what to fit into and actually standing up for their own beliefs. And because here's the thing, guys, if you have enough passion, and this is to everybody out there who might be listening, who's on the right or the left, if you have enough passion about what you're doing, you're going to find a way to get it done. But it doesn't mean that you have to become a part of some stupid cult. In
Mhm.
fact, our best leaders are independent thinkers. They're the ones who upset the apple cart. They are the ones who, go against the mainstream. And that's what we need in this country right now from the right and the left.
That was a great endorsement of Zoran Mamdani, man. Great.
I hate him, but yeah.
Great endorsement of Mamdani. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to us this week. Again, it was just me and Barrett. We had some good controversy the first half of it, though. So hopefully that
it's possible we'll disagree on shit.
Have a great week, guys. Everybody stay safe.
Take care, guys.
If you want a second opinion or just something to rage about, hit that button and subscribe. This has been Political Malpractice.